Hi everyone, it is Professor Fernandez, and I am here to kind of clear up some things that we learned about simple sentences. So let's recap a little bit. We learned about simple sentences and that they go in distinct order. It's always subject, verb, direct object, and prepositional phrase. Now, I had a lot of questions about what a direct object is and what a prepositional phrase is. So a direct object is literally the verb, what is being acted upon. So the verb is doing something, right? The subject is doing this verb, and the outcome, or what is impacted essentially, is the direct object. The prepositional phrase, it's literally the extra info. It begins with a prepositional word like for, in, beyond, after, and then it ends. The reason why it's called simple sentence is that it contains a lot of information, but it's not overstuffed with information. So what I've done here, I wanted to show you a little bit about how you're going to use this to revise your essay. Here I actually have an essay that has nothing to do with your essays that you've turned in. It's actually an essay from a former student of mine a couple of years back. And so I'm going to show you how to use this, all right? So this is what you're kind of want to do with your essays to get them ready for the next stage of revision. So first of all, let me say that the essays that you have in front of you that you turned in and I gave back to you are first drafts. I'm considering those first drafts. That means that they're not pristine, which means you can tear them apart, you can rewrite things, you can make it as dirty as possible. So there's no sacred cows here, meaning there's nothing that you're going to save at all. You're going to reword things, you're going to move things around. So I don't want you to say, oh, I can't do it because I don't understand. You do. You just have to rewrite the sentence, okay? So let's look at this first sentence here that she wrote, that the former student wrote. There is a significant difference between formal and informal essays. It's a pretty basic sentence, but I'm wanting you to write in this order, right? So we need a subject. So let's look. Do we have a subject? Remember, the subject is a person, place, thing, or idea. It's usually a noun. I'm looking at, let's say, the first 4 words here, or the first 5 words of the sentence. There is a significant difference. I don't see a person, place, thing, or idea. There is no noun here. There's no one doing an action, or no thing doing an action. So I know that I'm going to have to rewrite this sentence if I want it to be a simple sentence. I know that we're talking about formal and informal essays, because this is what this essay is about. So this is what I'm going to use as my subject. It's a thing, right? Formal and informal essays. So I'm going to start here. Okay, so this is my subject. So what are informal and informal essays doing? Well, we're talking about them being a significant difference. So we could say they are, which is my verb, and they are different, right? Are is my verb, it's in green, and different is my direct object. It's actually kind of more indirect than actually direct. The action is being talked about as being different. So that's how we're talking about it being related to the verb. And so now I need a prepositional phrase. So I'm reading this, I'm saying formal and informal essays are different. You can say because this is a prepositional phrase. You can say in that they are significant. That's one way to end it, because in is a prepositional phrase. You can say formal and informal essays are different. which is significant, which begins a propositional phrase. So this is the end of your sentence here, right? So what we have here is your subject, and I'll go ahead and make that yellow, or actually yellow. We have your verb here, which is green. You have your object here, which is blue. And you have your prepositional phrase, which is short, and they don't have to be that have to be long. Prepositional phrases can be short. In pink or purple. You do the whole thing. In pink or purple. And you see how these colors match this? That's what you want. Every sentence should look like this. It should really look like a rainbow. So here we are, striking this. We've already done that sentence. So let's look at this sentence. In informal essays, they stick to informing and persuading the audience. Okay, so let's look at this sentence. So formal essays is the subject, so let me go ahead and make that yellow. They. Is they a verb? No, it's not a verb. So we're missing a verb here, so there's no verb here. Let's see, stick could possibly be a verb, so let's make that green just for now. To informing and persuading the audience. To is actually a prepositional word, so that kind of tells you the prepositional phrase is happening. So I'm going to put that in purple. So let's look at this sentence. I have a yellow. I have no color here. I've got a green. I've got this pink purple thing, but I've got no blue. So that means I don't have a direct object. That means I have to rewrite this sentence. So I can say, with this one, I can say informal essays. I need a verb. Informal essays, or formal essays, I should say. You can add a verb here. It could be any verb here. It could be informal essays. It's formal essays, or you can actually do this a little better. Writers who write formal essays. Right. There's my verb here. Right. For information and persuasion. Put a little direct object, and there you have a sentence. It's kind of a clunky sentence, but I'm asking you to write in this simple sentence. So this would be perfectly acceptable for the assignment. So you have writers who write formal essays. This is your subject. This is the person doing the action, or the thing doing the action. They write what? To an audience. That is your direct phrase. That's what writing is impacting an audience, yeah? And why are they writing for an audience? For information and persuasion. Or to inform and persuade, essentially. And look, it is all in order. Now see how we rewrote two sentences? You're going to do this for all the sentences. And even then, you can actually rewrite a couple of things. So for this, writers who write formal essays, I can say writers, or formal essay writers, create for an audience to persuade, and inform. And even then you can make the sentence a little bit more simple. Okay? You'll do this with every sentence. It's going to be painstaking. This is not something that you're going to do in 10 minutes. It's probably going to take you an hour one day and an hour the next day. But it should take you a while. This is not something that you're going to want to do as you're Netflixing something. It's going to be something that you're going to want to do pretty much when you're just have some time to kind of really pay attention and focus. So you have here, let's look at this sentence. Informal essays looks like a subject. That's great. Are looks like a verb. It's one of those two be verbs, right? Are mostly for enjoyment purposes. I'm not quite sure if this is a direct object, but let's go ahead and make that blue just in case. We'll come back to this. Not saying that it can't also inform and persuade its audience as well, but it's mainly for pleasure, contains humor. Okay. See how long the sentence is? And it's kind of meandering and kind of lose yourself in this sentence. So if we're using this as a direct object, we for sure need a prepositional phrase. And this person is saying that that informal essays can be used to inform or persuade, but it's mostly for pleasure, and it's pretty humorous, right? So if we started here, informal essays are created for information, persuasion, okay, I can spell like comments here. Persuasion, pleasure, and humor. So we have informal essays as a direct object. We have are as the verb. Created is a verb as well, but we're going to use this as a direct object because this are is related to created. In fact, it's impacting created. There are created. And then we have for information, persuasion, and whatnot. And this is the prepositional phrase. Cool. So look what we have here. I like this sentence better. That. So this is how it reads. Formal and informal essays are different, which is significant. Formal essay writers create for an audience to persuade and inform. I should probably do that correctly. Informal essays are created for information, persuasion, pleasure, and humor. See how simple that is? It's very clean, very pristine. Now, some of you in class had something that was similar to the sentence that we just worked on, which had a lot of information, but it was like just there. So you have a choice. You can either delete that information if you don't need it, maybe you reworded it somewhere, or you can create a new sentence. Right? Now, one question that I had was, how much information do you put in a simple sentence? A simple sentence can have a lot of information in it, but you don't want to overstuff a sentence. And usually where people lose it is on the prepositional phrasing here. They want to stuff things in the prepositional phrase. So you only want in a sentence one complete thought. right? You want one complete thought per sentence. So if you have more than one thought, so if you were talking about um, formal and informal essays, and you're talking about them both at the same time, and you're giving me the characteristics of both of these essays all in one sentence, that's too much information. If you're talking about formal and informal essays, and you're talking about the one thing that they share, that they're different, right, then that's enough information. So you just want one complete thought per sentence. You do not want to add extra thoughts. Again, the idea that you've learned that you need to have several thoughts in a sentence, and making complex sentences or even compound sentences, I do not want you to use for this assignment. I 100% want you to use simple sentences. Let's go for another one. Let's grab this one. They all have a purpose, right? It's a short sentence, right? First thing is I'm looking at the subject. They is not specific. Who's they? I'm pretty sure she's talking about the essays. So I would say both essays, which is your subject, are, could be your verb, written with a purpose. Both sentences are written with a purpose. So you're going to make sure you have a subject, which is right here. Are is your verb. Written is also a verb, but are is impacting written. They are written. Just like here, they are created, right? It's impacting, it's an object here. And right here, with a purpose, with begins your prepositional phrase. And so that is it. And so your essays should look like this. They should really look like a rainbow through a box. Okay? So I hope that helps you out. I've given you a couple of resources about a couple other videos on direct objects and prepositional phrases. I hope it's helpful. Okay, bye guys.